All right, well, welcome everybody who's here already. We are going to talk about conversions today, how you can optimize your Google business profile and your website to make sure that anyone that sees those things decides to pick up the phone and call you or get driving directions or, learn more, contact your business. There's many great ways to contact your business, by the way, and you're going to hear about them today. So let's introduce our star-studded panel of panelists. We have Aaron Weiche. He is the co-founder and CEO of Leadferno, a business messaging platform that helps businesses delight customers at speed. He's the previous CEO of GatherUp, customer experience platform. You may have heard of that one. He's a 20-year veteran of the digital marketing and development industry. And he's also extremely handsome. Look at his new profile picture. I saw that and I was like, whoa, is that George Clooney? What? We also have with us today, Ali Margerson. Ali is the Director of SEO Services at Whitespark. She leads our team of local search experts optimizing hundreds of Google business profiles and websites for our clients. She's been doing digital marketing for small businesses since 2014, and she's well known around the Whitespark Slacks as the #1 sharer of The Office gifts. Huge The Office fan. And then me, I'm Darren Shaw. I am the founder of Whitespark, founded the company in 2005. I'm a researcher, writer, speaker on all things local SEO. I've been obsessed with web development and SEO since 1998, even before Google. I did try to rank businesses on Alta Vista at one point in my life. And I'm also the organizer of the annual Local Search Ranking Factors Survey, which has become a little less than annual since I took over, but that's besides the point. All right, so let's get into it. I'm going to start with a little bit of, setting you up here. So Mike Blumenthal, the GOAT of local SEO, coined the term Google is your new homepage. And what he's talking about there is that people don't even need to go to your website anymore to choose your business. Google has been building out their Google listings, which are now Google business profiles, with so many features that you can learn everything you need. If I'm looking for a local plumber, I don't need to go to their website. I just keep clicking on the listings, evaluating the different businesses. I look at their photos, I look at their reviews. I learn all about the businesses there. And so it's very important to make sure that your Google listing looks awesome, because if it doesn't, you can forget getting a lead. And even ranking #1, that used to be the thing. Oh, that's the holy grail. If I rank #1, I'm going to get the lead. But that's not the case anymore. Now, look at this example here. This business, all about drain cleaning, they rank #1, but look at that garbage listing. There's nothing on it. There's no photos. There's one sketchy looking Google review. I don't trust this business. As if I would pick up the phone and call this business. I'm going to go to the next one, the next one, the next one. I find Mr. Rooter. Whoa, look at Mr. Rooter. 628 reviews. They got this beautiful related to your search panel. Lots of photos, lots of information. They've got, if I scroll down, I can see their Google posts with special offers. Of course, I'm going to call them. And in fact, I did. This is an exact search that I ran in my city when I needed to get our sewer lines cleaned. I called Mr. Rooter. So the big question is, okay, what are we going to do? How can you get more conversions from your Google business profile? So I'm going to refer to the local search ranking factors, because this is actually this is one of the questions that I asked. And so this is a survey that I do mostly annually. And the beauty of this survey is that you get the aggregate knowledge of all of the sort of most recognized top local search experts, and you get all that information aggregated and condensed into one fantastic report. And so it's a really great way to learn about local SEO and conversions. And one of the questions that I ask is, what individual factors do you think have the biggest impact on conversions from GMB? Well, I got to change that. It's GBP now. And so here are the top 20 factors. There's a lot of stuff in here, but I'm going to summarize them into two main groups. #1 is review-related factors. And you'll notice that the 4 of the top 5 are factors related to reviews. So it's like having good ratings, having positive ratings, how many reviews you have, how recent your reviews are. So those are real killer conversion factors. That's what's going to compel people to come into your listing. And we saw that in the Mr. Rooter example where they had 600. And so here's another example. Look at this set of search results. Which business are you drawn to? Furnace Solutions has 497. Everyone else has less than 50. It's like, oh, Furnace Solutions, they look very popular. So review count has a huge impact. You can see that right here in this example. Responding to reviews is also a really valuable and important conversion factor. When a prospect sees that you're taking the time to respond and they can get a sense of who you are and how you care about your customers as a business, very important conversion factor. And then the other huge part of it is just making sure that you fill out every field in your Google business profile and you use every feature and you're working it all the time, keeping them up to date. So I'm gonna lightning round through all of these specific things. And this is what I'm talking about. I'm talking like bad listing, good listing, really nice built out. So what if I told you that there is a way to get free ads on Google? There's so many businesses that are paying thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands on Google ads every single month. And they're not taking advantage of the free ad space that Google provides on every Google business profile. This is the Google post section. And I cannot believe that every business doesn't do this. It's just shocking to me. So this is a wonderful place for you to talk about your services, your products, your features, the things that you do, offer special deals. These posts need to be going out every single week and they convert on the spot. Lots of times you'll present an offer and that offer can drive thousands of business because people are seeing your listing, they're clicking on it, they're clicking through, they're signing up. It's just unbelievable free ads. You use the Google post. Number one conversion thing, just start doing that today. And there's some bonuses you get when you start using Google Posts. You can get these things called justifications. This one in the middle here shows a Google Post justification. Oh my God, look how much that stands out in the search results. If you're looking through a feed of results and you got this nice little, oh, hey, they got a special. That's great. Thank you. Get that from Google Posts. Another thing you can get is this related to your search panel. When someone looked at your listing, keywords that mentioned or posts that mention those keywords can get pulled into that awesome panel. So another good reason to constantly produce posts. The next section I want to talk about is products. This is an also overlooked section. Many businesses are not filling out the products section, and you don't have to do them for only physical products. I know you might think, oh, I'm a lawyer, I don't sell any products. We just have gavels. We sell lots of gavels, but you might have all these services. So this is what we do with all of our clients at WiseSpark. This is one of our clients, and we highlight the different services that they offer, the different case types that they deal with in this wonderful product section, which has great prominence on your listing. The other thing is services. Make sure you fill out those services. This is only visible on mobile, but a lot of people are searching on mobile these days. And so having full details, it's like, I wonder if they do custom doors. Well, they do. It says it right there on their Google business profile, and I can see that. Photos are huge. You really want to be building out photos, adding lots of photos to your listing. Look how nice they look. Google's actually really enhancing this. Google search is becoming visual search. They're really working hard on that. And you're going to see so many more features come out with photos. Look at this beauty that Ali discovered yesterday. I can't believe how awesome this is. So photos and videos are now auto playing in the result. So as you scroll through, you can see these auto plays. It's so eye-catching. You get drawn right into that. Wow. Cool. I want to learn more about that. So I love that. So make sure you're adding videos to your listing as well. The Q&A section, also totally overlooked. You can preemptively answer your customers' questions by adding the questions yourself and answering them yourself. So having a nice built out Q&A section is very helpful. And so just in summary, people are thinking about making their websites look good so they get conversions. You wouldn't have a totally empty, basic one-page website that looked like this, as if no one's going to call you if that's what your website looks like. Same thing for your Google listing. You wouldn't have a Google business profile that looks like pure garbage either. So there are two more really incredible conversion signals on your Google business profile. I got to stop saying that. Google business profile, bookings and messages, unbelievably valuable features. I'm going to pass the mic to Ali, and she's going to tell you all about those. Ella is muted. Ali is muted.
Can you see my screen now?
Yes, you look great.
Awesome.
And your screen looks great too.
All right. Well, yeah, so there's two other features that Darren didn't quite have time to get into, and I am happy to get into them too. So this is booking and messaging. Now, these are what I consider the two top converting features of the GBP or Google Business Profile. So I'll dive into booking first. Now, booking, also known as Reserve with Google, is a feature that allows businesses to integrate specific supported booking systems with their Google Business Profile. So that gives customers the ability to make an appointment directly from the profile. It's kind of magical. So how do searchers interact with this feature? This is what it looks like. So you can see the schedule icon in the local pack. Now, this sometimes appears, it doesn't always appear if you have the booking feature set up, but enabling the feature is the way to power this. So when a customer clicks on the schedule icon, they see an appointment or class type or whatever your business is getting bookings for, and it's synced through your chosen bookings provider, and they can book directly on Google. So on your business profile, this is what it looks like. It powers this button here to engage with the business. You can see schedule and book. It's very prominent. It's a great call to action, and that the bookings feature is what enables this. So let's look at who is eligible, because not every business can get booking. There are 4 verticals currently: fitness, beauty, dining, activities. It also used to include a few others like financial services and local services and some shopping, but it's been narrowed down to these 4 in the past year. Fitting into one of these verticals doesn't guarantee that you'll have the feature though. So if you are interested in this feature, you can log into your GBP dashboard or search for your business on Google and use that new merchant experience to find the booking button. And this is what it looks like in the new merchant experience. So you'll see at the top, there's your panel, and you'll see the calendar icon. That's where you can see, if you have that button, you will have bookings available. You can click through and see what providers you might be able to set this up with. Now, if you've seen this for competitors, but you don't see it for yourself, we do have a little tip. It is category dependent. So if you see it on a competitor, but not on your business, definitely use a tool like GMB Spy. Take a look at what other categories your competitors are using, and you might want to add those. We did a test of this, and within an hour of adding the additional categories, bookings was available for us. Now, you might be wondering, well, how does it power the booking? There are 95 partners. And many are specific to industries. So you'll just have to take a look at what's available to your business. But among these 95, there may be, I've only seen as many as like 5 or 6 in a business. So there might be, a handful that are available to you. Now, Google does have some documentation on the requirements. Like I said, it's hurdle after hurdle with getting bookings. But it's really valuable if you can get it. Google requires that it is a physical location. There are price services, no ranges allowed, and you have to be able to take online bookings. Now, right now, it can only be managed on desktop. I've done some recent checks with the new merchant experience, and we can only find this on the desktop. So you won't see it if you're editing your listing or your business profile through mobile. But for the business owner, booking information appears almost immediately in the booking tab. If somebody is going to book with you, you'll be able to see all of this. This is a test we did last year for a yoga studio, Pilates studio, and you can see all this information. Now, Google will also report on revenue from bookings, most popular services, and all of that. So like I said, it is really valuable, but it's not available to everyone. If it is available to you, it's definitely something to check out. Now, take a look again here at the benefits of setting this up. Like I said, most importantly, you're meeting the searcher in the search before they even visit your website. In fact, you're sort of circumventing your website by converting a lead right on search. As Darren said, with that glorious picture of Mike Blumenthal, Google is the new homepage, and it can also be the new checkout page now. Over 50% of users are new customers. This was from a study done in 2018, and it found that 50 to 75% of bookings customers are new, and that's very valuable to get those new customers in your door. Another partner found that 40% of the bookings were made after hours. So this is when you're not there to pick up the phone and check for the calendar, send back a few options through email. So it's really important that there's something there when you're not. Another partner, TimeTrade, said that bookings cut the steps to convert in half. So this is, Google will sort of simplify your setup, your sign up process for bookings, but it is finding that people are booking faster. And the benefit to your clients is they aren't wasting time and they have more choice. Have you ever chosen a new schedule provider or a new service provider just because you could self-schedule? I know I have. I did this with like chiropractor. I just wanted to find someone where I could see all their availability and choose the time I wanted and not spend so much time on the phone with the receptionist trying to find what time that worked for both of us. And studies have shown that this is a market differentiator. This is a 2021 study by GetApp, and it found that 59% of those surveyed find scheduling by phone, so on the phone talking to somebody, frustrating. 95% said they were more likely to choose a new service provider if that provider offered online bookings. So the booking feature in GBP will allow you to just integrate this right into your feature, right on search, and it just takes a thing that's already powerful and proven and just makes it that much better. Now, while booking isn't available to everybody, messaging is pretty close to being available to everyone. So we'll take a look. Messages is an instant messaging feature that's built into the Google Business Profile, and it allows searchers to chat with your business straight from search results. Again, you're sort of circumventing everything and meeting searchers right in their search. Let's take a look at how searchers interact with this feature. There are currently 3 ways that you interact with messages. The first is the profile chat icon. So this is in the Google Business Profile. You can see it powers this chat button, and Google is actually calling attention to this. Like, Google wants people to use messages with Google Business Profile. So they're calling attention that this is something that you can do now. The second way is through the request a quote or the request a booking button. So this appears sometimes in the local pack, as you can see on the right, with multiple businesses below it, or it also sometimes appears in the business profile. And the text, it's dependent on Google, so there's no way to edit that text, but it'll generally say request a quote or request a booking. And the third way that you can interact with message as a searcher is through the chat icon in Google Posts. So if you're using Google Posts, which Darren already showed, free ads on Google, you get to set up your call to action. And so here, this business, this is a client that we work with, they've set up calls, but because they have messaging enabled, they get 2 calls to action. They get this nice little option on the side. They get to set their call to action, but Google is automatically going to put the chat option. Now, last year, Google updated the messages feature so that businesses can now manage chat with customers in the dashboard on desktop. This is still available in the new merchant experience. So this was huge. Before, it was only available in the app. It was pretty difficult to use, and now it's available on desktop. It's not perfect though. I will say that, like, messages is an amazing feature, but it does sort of have its issues. One issue that's recently been resolved is that when you reply to a message as a business owner, it used to show your name and photo, which wasn't great for businesses because it wasn't masking the business like what you'd be accustomed to if you're responding to, say, a Google review. It doesn't say that like Dan on your team responded to the review. It says that your business responded to the review. And that just was like a weird setback of the messages feature that has now been fixed. It will now show the name of the business chatting with the person who's messaging your business instead of showing each individual person's name. The nice thing though is that in the dashboard, or as the business, as you view it, it will still show you here. You can see Whitespark and then Darren's name. So it is still going to show who at your company has responded to the message when you're looking at things internally. Now, another new thing is that Google has included some auto response options. They're based on the text. We've done a bit of testing, and different messages will get different auto responses, but they're not great auto responses. Like this one here up top, do you offer website audits? You're not going to respond yes or no to that as a business owner. Like that's not great customer service. So I would say use these sparingly, be careful of them. It's a nice feature Google's trying to do, but they're not really doing a great job of it. Another new feature is the option to add FAQ. This is super new to me. I've only seen it on some businesses. This is like a great idea to have some ready questions that somebody can just click when they're in the chat and they'll automatically get your response. So this could be like, are you open on, Boxing Day? Or do you work in this region? And then you'll list like all the different regions you work in or something like that. So super powerful, but again, you have to set this up. and it's not available to every business. I've only seen it on 1 out of several dozen that I've been testing. Now, an important thing to know about messages also is that Google will display your average response time automatically. So this could say, I mean, here's one that says that you respond in a few minutes, that could say also a few days. So you want to be very fast with your responses so that Google will show your response time and people want to engage with your business, because nobody wants to wait a few days when messaging is such an instant method of communication. So let's take a look at just a few of the benefits of messaging. Messaging, like I said, it's an immediate medium. Messaging also is going to add a new channel of communication. So consider if this feature would be beneficial to your business, because messaging is a new way to interact with searchers. Not everybody wants to call your business. Not everybody wants to go and fill out a contact form on your website. So the more we move to, being able to have like live chat or a chat bot on your website, this is kind of that same sort of step for a Google business profile, is to enable messages. Messaging can also improve user experience, right? People want to get responses right away, and it helps your business stand out. You can take a look here. Well, it looks like my desktop picture didn't come up, but you can see messages is enabling, again, this top button. So once you have the booking button enabled or the messages enabled, you're going to get these buttons up top. They're very prominent on the listing. They draw a lot of attention, and they just give searchers an opportunity to convert and deal with your business right away and directly. So I think that these are just two really powerful, really underused features of the Google Business Profile. Like I say, there are some challenges with them, seeing if it's available for you, being able to set it up and have somebody management. These are not set it and forget it things with the Google Business Profile. And really, you shouldn't keep your GBP as set it and forget it. But yeah, there are still a few issues, which is where Aaron comes in, because Leadferno will actually solve a lot of these issues that I've pointed out with messaging. So yeah, I'll pass it over to you, Aaron. You want to explain to everybody how Leadferno could help with that?
Sounds good. Let me get my screen share up and running here. All right. It says people can see my screen. Is this true? All right. Well, thanks, Allie. And yeah, based on some of the comments in there, and I'll touch on this a little bit at the end. Yes, we see the same with Google Business Messages. There is a lot of spam going through on it. You have to make the choice if it's worth it for your business. We've had some shut it off. Some continue with it because there is gold in them thar hills. So it can be worth it for some. And we've also gone as far just forwarding some of it to the GMB and message team as well, to try to help them understand what customers are seeing. So hopefully some corrections will come, but as we all know with Google, we're also not going to hold our breath on that one, but we're trying to be as active as we can. So thanks so much for Darren and Allie to allow me to tag along with their brilliant White Spark minds today. Completely unfair that Darren had full control of the intro slides. I would have liked to have control over his and his introduction, but so be it. I'll host the next webinar and payback will be happening. I'm Aaron Weiche. I am the co-founder and CEO of Leadferno, and what I get to help cover today is for those people that end up being a conversion in your Google Business Profile of clicking on your website. That's a conversion in your Google Business Profile, or they're coming to your website directly from regular branding, organic traffic, all the other ways. There's still hopefully a lot of people coming to your website. And what we want to talk about today is how do you get an increase in your leads without the most costly thing you do, and that's usually adding traffic to your website. And that's by increasing conversion, right? Squeezing more juice out of the orange that you have. So the first thing that I'm going to tell you about from a strategic, get your mind right, is just putting some focus on the bottom of the funnel. More than anything, and I have this experience, I ran digital agencies for 15 years and worked with hundreds of businesses. And in my years at GatherUp, working with thousands of businesses, we are so obsessed with top of the funnel. How can we get more traffic and more clicks and more likes, everything at the top? And we think our business to succeed that we have to widen the top of the funnel. But doing things to increase what the size of the bottom of the funnel and the more leads you're producing, that absolutely can have such a major impact with half of the budget, a quarter of the budget, a tenth of the budget. So if you're really looking to maximize the traffic that you have, or even if you're still going to spend or put in the work to get more traffic, you want to make sure you're converting as much of it as possible. So the first kind of thing I see people fail at where you need to succeed is always being smart and being just really dedicated to having clear next steps, right? The last thing you want to do is make that user hunt for the next step. The great tried and true web book on usability of Dope Make Me Think is all about if you make the user start having to figure out what they're supposed to do on your website, you're already losing them. You're causing friction, you're causing mental drain, you might be frustrating them. So at the end of the day, these calls to action should be very upfront and very, very prevalent. Now, what we see over and over again with websites, especially small businesses, is this is their conversion, right? We have a contact link in our navigation. We have a contact page. This has been the go-to for conversion on the web for 25, 30 years now, that you click contact and then there's a form, email link, phone number to be able to contact them. We also see people just only have their contact information in the footer of the website, right? Here's how you can get a hold of us. If you scroll all the way to the bottom of our website, you get this valuable information to email, call, or drop a letter in the mail telling us that you're really excited to work with us, and then we'll mail you back. It's a pen pal type relationship. And then we've evolved to the lead form, right? We place these in sidebars and in the middle of the page, really anywhere we can. And I'm of the opinion a lot of these, we just end up just like ads on a site. We almost don't see these anymore because of how they're placed. They're just kind of part of the design and the layout. No one's ever excited to fill out a form like, oh, can I please answer 5, 8, 10 questions, and then find out, do you even see these forms? You're going to respond to me? How long does it take for you to respond? That's really a big problem with forms is they go out into the universe. We have no idea when they're coming back with it. One study showed that the average reply time to a digital lead is 17 hours. And to me, that's crazy when it's somebody that's sending you signals. I want to work with you as long as you can give me a little more info, answer some questions, point me in a direction or connect me to an expert. 17 hours is just way too long because a lot of people use that time to go and find someone else to work with. So here's an easy way to look of a good, better, and best. And that's being able to put CTA buttons that are in front of the user as they're interacting with the site. So the good is you put it at the content, maybe at the end and after they've consumed it. And that's good because you have a call to action button or section within your site, which is fabulous and better than just the contact tab that's in your navigation. If you get better, you're placing it in multiple places. So not just when you get to the end or the bottom of the page, because not everyone makes it there. You already have one above the fold in mobile and on desktop when they're seeing it. But what we've found to be best, and just disclaimer, you're going to see a lot of Leadferno product shots in here because after all, we're trying to solve conversion. So these best practices, we are trying to build into our tools. So yes, I'm biased, but there's a method to my madness, and that's why. So when you're able to place these floating buttons that are always in front of the user in a desktop or on a mobile screen, and you're able to communicate things like we're open to questions, we have great ways you can contact us. As I'm going to touch on, you provide motivations like deals, offers, or social proof, things like that. You're making reaching out to you easy. They don't have to hunt for it. It's always on the screen, no matter where they're at in their experience. And then you add things like movement and motion to them so that they're eye-catching and the user can't help but be drawn to them, but not so crazy like probably some of Allie's office GIFs where it's so distracting that it takes away from what you're trying to do. So just finding those subtle movements to be able to get that user to see what you have to offer and how they can reach out. So for your call to actions, one, be action driven, clearly outline the next step, make sure it's relevant using terminology on what is the next step, whether that's a free quote, understanding your situation, getting a consultation, booking a call. And if you can do anything to evoke emotion with that of trust, even humor, things like that make you relatable, that's going to get someone to reach out to you. You definitely want to draw the eye to it. So in your color, make sure you're using an accent or a highlight color that doesn't blend in with your site, or it's one of your brand colors that is maybe the the brightest or you've used the least so it really stands out. If it can use small amounts of movement, that's great. And just as I touched on, if you can build call to actions that are always visible to the user, they don't have to go on an adventure to find them. And then lastly, whenever you can give expectations, reach out to get a free quote, reach out to get a consultation, reach out to book a 15-minute phone call. Doing all of these things so the user clearly understands what they get, that helps lessen what they're looking to overcome in reaching out to you. None of us like reaching out into situations where we have no idea what's going to go on. So if you can set those expectations, you're going to drive more conversions off your site. Now, this next one, I asked Darren if I could speak for 2 hours on the topic of being easy to work with. He said, no, you need to stick within 20 some minutes. So I'm trying to pack as much into this one as I can. But to me, this is such a golden rule, especially in business nowadays, is you need to be easy to work with. Consumers have way too many choices and way too many ways to reach out to those other choices and to start to do business with them, that if you're not easy to work with, you're just pushing them away and pushing them in those other directions. And so at the end of the day, when you're making your customer work hard and you're making them do all of the work to interact with you, you're going the wrong way. And one way I see this happening is by not evolving and not offering enough options for how they can reach out to you. If you haven't noticed, communication has changed over the last 20, 30 years, right? Michael Douglas here in the late 80s, early 90s, like this cell phone was the first appearance of a mobile phone, or if I can be Canadian and Darren, a mobile phone. And I think this phone could like also make toast as well, right? Very dual purpose. It was a very large and warm piece of machinery. But we've evolved to do everything on our phones now. So we have to embrace those channels. So at Leadferno, we ran a survey to 2,000 US consumers, and we asked, how do you prefer to communicate? And we saw by a good 7% margin, text message sat over the top of phone, next coming in email. And then we saw a rise in direct messaging through apps like Messenger, WhatsApp, Google Business Messages, Instagram, things like that. So when you understand this is the #1 way how people like to communicate, you need to start thinking for a business, do we allow people to be able to communicate with us via text? So why should you care about SMS and texting? Well, as our survey proved out, it's the #1 channel that we like to communicate. If I look at my own personal life, if a friend or a family member is like sending out an email, that feels like the most formal communication ever. It might better be for like a surprise party invite or something I have to RSVP for. It's definitely not to find out if I want to watch a football game that night or go out to dinner or what I'm up to that day. We do all that communication through texting. And the pandemic has only blurred that line as businesses and customers sought out more ways to be able to connect with the things they needed service and products from. Texting is now here for business, and it's here to stay. 3/4 of consumers want to be able to text with the business. And another survey showed that 89%, they want to be able to two-way message with brands. So everything that we just talked about, text messaging, GMB messaging, Facebook Messenger, messaging is the easiest way for us to manage communication. It's on our time. We can easily respond when we want to. We get notifications of new messages. And as a business, when you understand how important it is to respond fast to leads, text replies are 60 times faster than email replies. The average of 90 seconds for a text versus 90 minutes for an email. So when you consider that back and forth and you get both sides of that, it's 90 minutes for the business to reply, then another 90 minutes for the consumer to reply back again. You start dragging out conversations that can be solved in a matter of 5 minutes and get that customer converted. So where I see a lot of people bring this up is live chat, right? Live chat has been around for over a decade now. It's very common. It's very well known. But I just see a number of hangups on this. And for most businesses, especially small businesses, texting and offering what we call a web to text widget and allowing people to text right from your website is a far better experience for the consumer. And it's a much better experience for you to manage as a business. So live chat, I have this folder on my desktop called Shitty Live Chat Experiences. And you know what? That folder is pretty full because there's so many times where we go to click a live chat and our first one on the left, I ask my question because they tell me they're live chat and they're going to help. And they're like, oh, you know what? We're not actually live. You're just going to fill out a form just like everyone else will. And then we'll get back to you via email. Well, guess what? I went to live chat because I didn't want to email you. I don't want to be stuck in that channel. Then the one on the right that we see all the time, right? The call to action was chat with an expert. I click that. You know, they're even showing frowny faces in it, right? They're saying, hey, guess what? You're disappointed. Yeah, I'm disappointed because now you're telling me I have to call or email you. I clicked live chat to chat with an expert because I didn't want to email and I didn't want to call. So these are things we commonly see with live chat for a couple different reasons. One, it's hard for businesses to staff them. Their team's already doing a lot of things, and people feel pressure with live chat. Like even when I've used live chat for myself for businesses, there's maybe 1 or 2 people on the team, even though we had dozens of team members that were trained and felt comfortable enough to manage live chat. So if they're out sick for the day or on vacation or whatever else, live chat's just offline for a day or weeks or whatever else. And it's offline at night. And then we've all had different experiences with chatbots. I've still yet to have great experience with chatbots. I refer to them as glorified navigation. You're usually using them to auto reply and push someone to a web page that's there. And can that help you get your answer? Yes, it can help you find your answer. But 9 times out of 10, what you really wanted was to talk to a human so they could understand, give you some empathy, be quicker with their answer, or be very specific to the details that you're asking about. And I will say e-commerce, I still think live chat is a perfect fit, and it is for some small businesses, but you really need to think through it. We summed it up as easy as this, right? When you have a web to text where people can text you and start a text conversation off your desktop, tablet, or your mobile device, you're winning because number one, it's the most familiar, trusted channel. It's the app they use the most on their phone. Live chat, even though there's a lot of similarities, every time we open that box or open that window, there's still a learning curve, ways that they work differently. The next one is big to me. When you create a conversation in text, you send it and it's portable. Your phone's with you. You can go to a meeting. You can go to the store. You can go pick up your kids at practice. You can take it wherever you need to. It's a portable conversation. When you start a live chat, you are stuck in that window. And I'm sure we've all done this. We open the live chat. It tells us we're waiting to connect you to an agent. A couple minutes go by. We jump to other tabs. And then all of a sudden we remember 10 minutes later, oh yeah, I had a live chat going. We go back and they're like, hey, are you there? Oh, all right, I'm going to disconnect you. Now you have to start that process all over again, right? You are stuck at your desk in the live chat window. Now for businesses managing text, it is so much easier. We ran a survey to understand what are consumer expectations on reply times. The largest category was 51% saying a same day reply was totally acceptable for them. Now the consumer expectation with live chat, that same 50.4% neck and neck with that says minutes is acceptable. So again, when you're a small business, you have minutes to meet their expectation or delight them. With using text, you have that entire same day. So that gives you so much more time for them to be delighted and excited and think you're a great communicator when you respond within minutes or hours. So to me, it's just such a no-brainer on what it provides for real time. We found in our survey too, when people hit that live chat that's offline, agent not available, 57% leave. They don't fill out that form. It's just end of session for them. That is a massive leaky bucket within your conversion funnel that you want to address. So at the end of it, we frame it up. Texting is a connection where live chat is just a session. And as any small business owner knows, it is so hard to get a customer. You need to create that connection and then make them a repeat customer with everything you can use to connect over and over again. The next one that I'm highlighting here and how we do this is offering them options, right? So when you click our CTA buttons that are always on the screen, we're already communicating ahead of time. Hey, you can text or call us. When you open it up, you can text, you can call, you can schedule a quote, you can read the reviews if you need more social proof to convert. So we allow you to put whatever conversions you're there. You can link to your free estimate form. You can link to anything that's out there, your Calendly account for booking a call. So at the end of the day, we look at if you're going to place buttons on your screen to be able to entice someone to click at any time, offer your top conversion actions and let the consumer choose how they want to interact. Again, here's another one. You can text them. You can schedule a pickup of your appliances that you're getting recycled. You can look up your drop-off info if you're bringing it in yourself, or you can call them. So again, put those options in front of them. I always say it's no different when you go to a business and you see the stickers on the door, like, hey, we accept credit cards, Apple Pay, Google Pay, straight cash, homie, maybe not checks, maybe checks, but you know I have options. I can pay how I want to, whatever card or solution I have on me that I get points for, anything else. You want to look at conversion the same way. Don't make them just go one way. You can only work with us if you fill out this crappy 20-question form. That's great. You get a really mature lead, but you are missing so many people that just want to ask some questions and establish a relationship. So being easy to work with. And sorry, you didn't get the full 2 hour on this. There's so much more to cover here. But number one, put the prospect in control. Give them conversion options. Make sure you're evolving, right? Ali touched on this. I'm touching on this. You need to be mobile focused. You need to be looking at messaging, real time over static, and be smart with those choices. As I outlined, and again, I'll readily put, I've done a lot of research and that's where my bias from. But for small businesses, texting and being able to start a text conversation from your website is going to kick live chat's butt. All right. Lastly, let's look at building trust and motivating that customer to take the next step. So if you take a look, what we add into our buttons is a feature we call highlights. You can advertise your reviews and reputation. So we're a quality business to work with. Lots of other people have said so. My previous endeavor at GatherUp, a reputation management platform, or if obviously you use Reputation Builder from Whitespark, you have the conversion pop-up where you can show your website. You can show your reviews rotating on every page of your website. So you're bringing your reputation right to the forefront of what's there. We see other website designs do this in the header, right? Here's a cell phone repair company showing over 500 4.5-star reviews right in their header. So you're greeted when they come to the site. You're giving that subtle social proof that reaching out to call us or to click that free estimate button, hundreds have already done it with great results. And here's a moving company that we work with. And these guys have 10 locations and they have such a critical mass, 22,000 reviews with a 4.9 rating, right? They're putting this right in their hero image, right as you come into the site. So they're letting you know we're great at moving. 20,000 people agree with that statement. So when you have that mass of that, that's just fabulous social proof. And then you can go all the way into details, right? So this review widget is one you can get from Reputation Builder. So you can put all of your reviews, first party, third party, you can choose which ones are there. But this is great because this allows a user to click on your reviews page and dive into these experiences. They can read the specifics on how good you are at communication, the product, how it turned out, scheduling, any of those things. I look at this and, I've long been a believer, like these are customer stories that other customers want to hear about and read about. It's a static version of when you ask someone, hey, who did you use for this? Or who could you recommend me for a house painter or a plumber or solar panel installation, any of those things. These are those stories. And so when you can bring them together on your site in the form of structured reviews, that makes it really easy to read them. Testimonials, still great. Video testimonials, really great. All those things. The things I like about structured reviews is everybody understands 5-star rating formats. You get a boost from some of the things of third party that it's a Google review or a TripAdvisor review. But last and least, I tell people like get your own reviews, get first party reviews, get them in a numerical structure, especially with those of you that pay attention, right? Google is trying to tighten up on review spam and fake reviews and everything else. They're deleting legitimate reviews from your profiles. And you see people in the forums going into a panic, help, I lost 10 reviews, 40 reviews, 100 reviews. Well, duh, because you don't own them, so they can disappear. So get first party reviews so you own them. Get a mix of all of those. Your best customer stories shouldn't be only sitting at Google and Facebook. They should be sitting somewhere that you own. All right, rant over on first party reviews. That's a bonus tip for today. The next thing you can use is speed of response, right? Time is our biggest commodity. None of us want to wait. We don't want to wait those 17 hours. So when you can communicate something like an average reply time, or you respond fast, or get help right now, that is going to be hugely helpful. So you can see here, you're able to incorporate the average reply time is less than 30 minutes for this business. Within this one, they're just using a call to action. Get a quick response, right? This is making you feel like you're bumping to the front of the line if you text them, which is a great experience for a customer to feel like this is the fastest way for me to get answers. Oh, yippee. And it's on the channel that I interact with the most. And then lastly, motivating, right? Can you use offers? We see this in all kinds of home services for things like the initial trip charges or an estimate, or just taking a look at your problem. Here, buy 2 windows, get 1 free. So the beauty of when you use an offer is that helps lower the trust curve. So now instead of them needing more trust, they're actually saying like, well, if I get a good deal, I'm willing to reach out. I don't have to trust them as much. I don't have to establish enough on how I feel about them to reach out because I'm more interested in the good deal that's out there. So if your business is able to find a way that you can test and see if a deal will get more conversions coming in by putting that in front of them right around your calls to action. All right, so social proof tips, and there's a number of other things that you can do here, from memberships you have, certifications, years in business, awards won, everything else. But ultimately, you want to position your reputation, right? And the easiest way to do that is showing your reviews and your ratings. And again, hopefully you're getting first-party reviews as well. Use time to your advantage, right? We're not going to waste your time. We all value quick responses and help show the customer and market that can happen by working with you. And lastly, think, how can we motivate people? If we can't build enough trust, how can we motivate them with an offer, motivate them with an easy process, right? I see some businesses that like, hey, our quoting process is simple or hassle-free, or it's no touch or no call, or you can do it online, 2-minute process. Anything you can do to motivate them to take action is going to benefit your conversions. And the last one, this ties really well with both Darren and Allie, is meeting them where they're at, right? Because they could be in the search results. They could be in your Google business profile. They could be socially engaging with you. One major takeaway I want you to think about is like the goal is to be in their phone, right? That's where we interact. That's our life. That's the thing that we can't leave home with. And that's where you ultimately want to get to. So the one way to do that, right, is Google's business messages, right? As Allie covered in this, activated in your Google business profile. You get to it through Google search and maps. It allows you to start a chat immediately out of that Google business profile. Now, as we already touched on here, are we seeing a lot of spam with it? Yes, more or less for some businesses. As with anything, I would tell you, test this and see what it looks like. You can always turn it off if you can't cover it right, do those things. Now, I will say the benefit to Google's business messages when you use it with a platform like Leadferno, like it integrates with us and you can answer them out of our platform, we automatically send auto replies. So where Allie was talking about you get measured on your reply, we automatically send a reply for you. So you're not going to get dinged on your replies because those are immediately going out when a new lead comes in through Google Messages. And you get the efficiency of being able to manage it in one place. Leadferno integrates with Facebook Messenger as well. And that's important because so many people, right? 82% regularly use Messenger on top of their Facebook usage, right? And it is the top messaging app in North America compared to WhatsApp for the majority of the rest of the world. So as businesses continue to look for ways to get in front of customers, use messaging as a call to action in their ads and on their business profile, this is a great social conversion. And as I mentioned, we are integrated with Facebook Messenger as well, so you can use our app to respond to Google, texting, and Facebook Messenger. So, and lastly, being in their contacts, we felt it was so important. We actually created a feature around it, right? Because number one, if a lead comes into you through Google Business Messages or through Facebook Messenger, you want to convert them to another messaging channel. Answer the question and also say, hey, can we start texting you? Get their phone number. Now you own it. Now you have a direct line to them and you can come back to them at any time. Because with Google Business Messages, you can't reach out to the user later on, right? It is just a session like live chat. So there's time frames where you can no longer reach back out to those customers. That's why you want to get them over to text. You want to be in their contacts because that makes it easy in this days of robocalls, spam texts, everything else. They know when it's your business texting them and reaching out. Even when you help them that time, 6 months later, you reach out to follow up, ask them for a referral, ask them if they have any new projects or make them aware of a new service you're offering. They see that it's from you. You're in their contacts. Any of you iPhone users, the latest iOS update, if you get a number not in your contacts, it double prompts you asking if it's spam or junk, right? So within that, if you're in their contacts, it's not asking them every single time you communicate over and over again. That double messaging does go away once you reply. It's even more reason to have two-way messaging to be able to text back and forth with your customers. And then lastly, it helps future referrals, right? If you're talking to someone like, hey, who did you use to paint your house? It turned out great. yeah, I used ABC Painters. Let me send you their contact file. And you're able to text it over on your phone. So it's great for referral business, which we all know is what we're ultimately after. And for a lot of us, it's our number one contributor. So finding ways to make adding your contact information easy, right? We do in ours, once you start that text conversation, we say thanks, and then we prompt them with an add to contacts. And now your logo, your voice line, your texting line, your link, your address, all of that is in their phone. You're in their phone, which is exactly where you want to get to. So find those shortcuts. Even on your own site, you can create a V card and things like that for them to add to contacts, or you can even ask them while texting with them or send them a message. Adding us to contacts will make communication easier and a quick way to pull us up if you need to reach out to us again. So find ways to get into their contacts. All right, I already mentioned this, but as a reminder, we bring all of these messaging channels into one inbox, both a desktop and a mobile app, to make it easier for you to communicate. So that's everything I have, and excited. If you're interested in Leadferno, you can schedule a demo through our website. You can text and ask us questions. You'll see the buttons on the website to do that. We offer a 14-day free trial. And if you're an agency, we have a partner plan so you can work with your clients. We'd love to be your conversion partner to help convert all the traffic that you're driving through great search results, great campaigns. And, you know, Darren, maybe you should talk a little bit about your guys' Google Business Profile service to help generate that traffic that then Leadferno can help convert.
Yeah, I have one final tip for everybody on the absolute easiest way to increase both your rankings and conversions from Google. No work. Well, you know, just a little tiny bit of work on your end, and you could be ranking and absolutely driving a ton of leads from your business listing. And that's with Whitespark, Whitespark SEO services. So we do this work for hundreds of Google business profiles and websites, optimizing. We get amazing results for our clients. The pricing is shocking. People don't understand how most SEO agencies are spending or charging $2,500 a month, $5,000 a month. We've designed this to fit for small businesses. And we take care of everything. We do all of the stuff that you need. So if you would like an expert to do all this stuff for you, we're extremely good at it. We get great results. We can white label it for agencies. We work with a ton of agencies that just outsource all of their Google Business Profile management to us at a preferred rate. And we also have a fantastic referral program. So if you know a small business that could benefit from our services, you can join our referral program and make kickbacks. We have some referral partners that are making $1,000 a month in free money. They're paying for their mortgage just by sending us a few leads. So you can learn more about it at the whitespark.ca/SEO-services. Yeah, you can get results like that too and have us manage all of that for you.
All right, I pulled up the chat, Darren. There's a number of questions. I'm going to try to get to some of them.
All right.
Kat asked if there's an age bracket when we're doing the survey question on communication preference.
Yep.
And yes, we have those breakdowns, Kat, in our blog post on it. If you go to leadferno.com/blog, maybe 9 or 10 posts ago, I don't know. I can't chat to everyone. Maybe Darren, if you find it, you can put it out there.
No, I think you can now. You couldn't earlier.
Okay.
Let me just.
I can see. Yes, I do have everyone. And then, all right. So I'll dig up that link in a second. But the short answer to that, Kat, is yes, the only bracket that we saw where texting wasn't first was 65 and older. Phone call narrowed out texting just by a little bit. Every other age group, texting was number one. It was number one by the widest margin in the like 35 to 55 age group, which for a lot of businesses, that's really the heart of their best customer and best buyers. And then for the like 18 to 24, the biggest difference that we saw is a rise in the messaging apps. So other apps like Signal, Facebook Messenger, Snap, things like that, they were using twice as much as the other age brackets were. Texting was still number one. But yes, it was down. It had doubled for messaging on the lower end. And across the board, we saw email in third all the way across the board, right? Like we kind of joked in that blog post that email was dying just because it's not people's number one choice. But for business, it's like our number one choice until we adapt and find some of these new methods to communicate.
think there's another question someone had asked in the Q&A section. This one's for you, Aaron. Why do you think there is such a difference between customers preferring WhatsApp to communicate with businesses and SMS text? Difference between WhatsApp and SMS.
Yeah, so I mean, WhatsApp has just such a mass adoption outside of the US and outside of North America, because it was free. And people adopted that back when messaging was still like costing you for segments, right? Where you maybe only got so many text messages in your plans and things like that. And there's still a lot of countries where some of those rates still happen. So WhatsApp made that free via, internet connection and things like that. So that's where they got that huge mass adoption for what's there. WhatsApp also, you've probably seen the ads. They're running a ton of them now, right? Just hitting upon security because it is encrypted end to end, where SMS isn't. So that's what they're hitting upon as their main thing. But that early to market and making it free and easy at a time where text messages could be expensive for some is really the ground they gained outside of North America.
Let's see, we have any more questions in here? Alicia says, I'd like Weisbark to offer ongoing citation and directory listings, $10 a month till I cancel. That's actually on a roadmap. We'll probably launch something like that pretty soon. Now that we have the new dashboard where you just load your locations through Location Manager, it makes it much easier to set up a citation subscription. So we'll probably do that soon. You may have encouraged us to do it faster. Someone asked about the white label link. You can just go to our weisbark.ca SEO services and sign up. We don't take your credit card. We keep it on file, but then we don't charge you until you have your initial call. And so if you're signing up as an agency, then that just is your way to get into our funnel, have a call with one of our account managers, discuss your case, figure out how we can help you. And then charges do not start until we figure out what's your best setup.
Yeah, somebody asked for the name of the book again. It's Don't Make Me Think. It's a book about web usability. It's, probably over a decade old, but it's one of those tried and true that you definitely want to take a look at. I think they've printed an updated version from the original, but yeah, Don't Make Me Think. You can get it on Amazon or probably other places on the web.
Yeah, and James, absolutely. We set up Google business profiles for our clients. We do that all the time. And so we're very good at it, and we set them up properly, and we optimize them, and then we manage them. We respond to reviews. We do spam fighting. We do weekly Google posts where we write all the content. We create the graphics. We're continually working with you and pestering you to give us photos so that we can add more photos to your listing. We actually set up an incredible review strategy that helps you drive more reviews. So it's fully managed service where we do everything for you. You have a dedicated account manager. There's no contact the customer support line. You work directly with someone. Another question was here. Well, about a replay. Yeah, I'll send out a copy of the recording and all the slides to all the attendees. James asked for the link. I'll just speak it. Or maybe Ali can type it in the chat there. It's weisbark.ca/SEO-services.
Yeah.
Hi, Ali. The time is 1 p.m.
Hey.
Yeah. How do you deal with fake reviews? Well, we can't actually report fake reviews. That is part of the service. Like if you see some reviews that are clearly fake, you can report them and get them removed. If you're getting review bombed, that actually happens. We've seen it happen. You can actually request support to shut down reviews on your listing. It's a thing that can be done. So that's interesting. Is it a good idea to share content from the site within Google Posts? Ali, you want to answer that one?
Yeah, absolutely. That is a large part of where our team will get information, because we're trying to make it pretty low touch for the business, that we don't have to constantly require a lot of content. So we'll often look to the website. But basically, my best tip for Google Post content is that you want to focus on your services or products or whatever it is that makes your business the most money. So for example, for a dentist, this is often services like Invisalign. So we'll do a lot of Google posts about that, because it just, shows Google that your business is talking about those services. And it's just a really good way to get some more leads through your Google posts.
Ooh, Alicia, posting works so incredibly well. I know. Why aren't people doing it? It's so great. So with our clients, we just take that completely off their hands. We find out what they're doing. Sometimes they're posting to Facebook. So we're like, wow, look at all this great content they're pushing on Facebook. We'll use that and push it to Google for them. Yep.
Yeah, we typically just do one post a week, but we'll also do like a monthly offer post, because offer posts, we find that they get a lot of traffic. So yeah, Alicia, one post a week, and then we'll do an offer post a month.
Yep. And I love that in your slides, that having the chat right on the post, that is really
Yeah.
amazing. So you really want to convert people. Well, it's like everything comes together. So you've got the messaging turned on, you do the Google post that has the little chat on it. You hit the chat, it goes into your Leadferno, easy to respond. Oh, beautiful. I love that. Well, did we do it? Are there any other questions? I know we're at time here. I will give a chance for someone to write one last question. If you would like to type it in the chat, speak now or forever hold your peace.
There's a question in the Q&A.
I think we got that one. There was the one. Oh, there's a new one in the Q&A. All right. Valentina asks, can I use photos from clients in Google Posts without giving accreditation to whom the copyrights are? It's a great question. Ali, what do you think?
Sorry, just reading the question. That's interesting.
Yeah.
I think if the client has given you the photo by, like posting it on your Google business profile or sharing it with you, and like, if you're in a type of business, like maybe like a hair salon where you want to get, photos, I think you just have to go through your normal like permissions for posting client photos. If
Yeah.
that's something you'd want to do.
Or let's say a daycare and they got photos of the kids, that could be a sketchy situation. So
Yeah, you definitely want to have permission to share those photos for sure.
Yeah,
But
if you're
it
doing it-
is, I was gonna say, it is better than using stock photos if you can have actual real photos at your business, of your services or products, or people in your business. That's definitely going to be better than stock photos, but definitely make sure you have permission for sure.
Yep. There's a question here for Aaron. How many profiles can be connected with Leadferno?
Google business profile, message profiles, so yeah, endless. Our system works off of profiles. So if you have multiple locations, multiple GMB profiles, those are all profiles in ours. So you get a shared inbox per business, per location. So you can text from each location separately, have users separate, connect to different Facebook messengers and Google business profiles. So yeah, you're totally able to do that.
Yeah. Jeremy asks, is UTM tagging one of the best ways to test out conversion strategies? I would say it's one of the best ways. It's very helpful to be able to see data in your Google Analytics about how many people click that website button on your Google business profile. But it is just one source. And so the other big one is calls. And so call tracking might be something that you might want to set up on your Google business profile, because depending on the business, they may never visit your website. That was actually what I talked about at the very beginning. People will just call, they'll click the button, but that only works on mobile. If you click on mobile, you'll get the data in your Google business profile insights reporting saying how many calls you got. But if they just pick up the phone and call because they're reading the number on the screen, if they're doing that on desktop, then you have no way of tracking that. So, measuring conversions, call tracking is another thing you might want to consider putting on your Google listing. And I have an important tip that if you're going to do that, you could change your primary number on your Google listing to the call tracking number, but make sure you put your real number as an additional number on your Google business profile. That way it helps to make sure that Google kind of still connects your Google business profile with all of the sort of citations that are out there and all of those business listings that mention your number. So it just helps keeps everything together. Google showed a different address when I do a search, then that is listed on the Google business profile and it is not a duplicate. I think it must be a duplicate. I'd like to see this case.
That was my thought too. I think maybe send Darren or I a DM on Twitter. I would actually like to get into what's going on with that.
Yeah,
But
it's very interesting. Yeah.
We'll need the links for sure to assess what's going on.
Yeah, I just saw it like yesterday. Business, 2 listings, they look very similar. One has more reviews. It's totally a duplicate. But I don't know if this one's not a duplicate, then that's quite interesting. What are your thoughts on having a 1-800 number versus a local number for Google Business Profile? I have some thoughts. I want to hear Ali's thoughts on this one. 1-800 versus local number.
I think it's better to have a local number, but you can definitely, like what Darren was saying with the call tracking, you could have the 2 numbers. How do you feel about 1-800 numbers? I'm actually going to post your blog post from CallRail that touches on a lot of this call stuff.
Yeah, so I think there's a lot of speculation in the local search industry that having a local number is a ranking factor, but I question it. I don't know if it has an impact. There are so many businesses that will use the same number, like it goes to a call center. A local number has a conversion benefit, I think. So you look local. It's like, I recognize my area code. I feel confident calling this. I know it's not going to be some scammy lead gen company. So there is like a psychological benefit to having a local number, but I don't know if there's a ranking benefit to it, but that's why best practice is to use a local number if you can. But if you can't, I don't think the 800 number will hurt your rankings.
Well, and I would even argue, Darren, just from the amount of phone solutions and providers and VoIPs and so many things out there, like that is like degrading so fast, because it's like numbers, toll-free numbers, different types of numbers are so in use everywhere in so many ways. And people keep their same cell phones and move states and everything else. You just want to keep your number because none of us remember phone numbers anymore, right? Like, I don't think my kids would be able to tell you the area codes in Minnesota. It's just, I know how to message my friends, or I have them in my contacts, right? So it's like, I think is more and more of that. And to me, it's all the more reason why you want to end up a contact in someone's phone and known, because then really silly things like what's your area code or what's your number, none of that matters. You already have brand trust and you're in their phone instead of worrying about what's the prefix on our number.
Yeah, totally. My daughter Violet is 12 and she's had a phone for a year now, and I don't know her number.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell you what her phone number is.
Yeah.
So this is a person that's extremely close to me that I call on a very regular basis, but I don't know her number. I call her down for dinner almost every night because she doesn't hear us screaming, dinner! And so I have to phone her.
Same.
Let's see. Someone keeps changing the business hours on my customer profile. I love this question. How to decline them or get Google to stop changing them based on user submitted info? Well, Jason, it is a pain in the butt. Google is the worst. They keep changing everybody's listings, and it's so dang annoying. You know what you got to do? You got to every day log into the new merchant experience search thing, click the info, carefully dig through every little field and see, did Google change something? I have no idea. You don't get alerts, you get no notification. Google just changes your info, and it's frustrating as hell. And today, our developer Troy is putting a page up on our site where you can sign up for early access to our Google Business Profile Management tool. And Updates Management is the very first thing that we're launching. So Updates Management, we're going to have a feed of all of the updates. We're going to send you alerts when Google changes your listing. You'll have one feed where you can see all the changes Google has made, and you can kind of just view them and reject, approve, reject, accept. Like sometimes Google will suggest a new category to your listing, and it's helpful. You'll be like, no, thanks, Google. You hit accept. Sometimes Google will change your hours, change your business name, strip the UTMs out of your website URL. So annoying. Change your primary category and destroy your rankings. Terrible. So this new software, this new tool will be extremely reasonably priced, and we should be launching it very early in the new year. So January, this will be available. And so I will let people know what that link is once Troy has put it up. Let's see. I'll check my Slack, see if he already did it. No, nothing yet. So he's working on it today, and we're going to have that up soon. It's not, Doug, it doesn't exist yet. It's only in our dreams. It's being developed right now. We have all of the designs. We have everything. It's been in development for at least a good couple months, and it will be launched within the next 2 months-ish. Yeah. How can you protect a Google listing? Same thing. Question from Jason. It's coming. Pain point will be solved. Can't wait to launch that one. And then we just got a lot of kudos. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for joining us. It was wonderful chatting with you all. Thanks so much to our expert panelists, Ali Margerson, Aaron Wyke, for providing all this excellent info. Thanks to everybody who attended. I will send out the recording and some slides, I guess some links and more information. Thanks for joining us, and we'll let you know if we have another one. Get on the Whitespark mailing list. Bye, everybody.